What's up guys, Zame here and you're watching Heavy Metal Pomp. Today I've got another pomade review for you. We're gonna look at another product from the Lockhart's professional line. Previously we had a look at their matte clay, but for today we've got Lockhart's water-based hair pomade. This is a water-based pomade with a medium to firm hold. Now I know you're probably asking, is it an orthodox water-based pomade or an unorthodox water-based pomade? Now this is what the people from Lockhart's call a paradox water-based pomade. I'll get more into what that means later. Of course I want to thank Steve and Nicole for sending this out to me. Thanks guys. And as always, without further ado, we're gonna take a closer look at the jar right now. And here we have Lockhart's water-based hair pomade. Comes in a 3.7 ounce amber plastic tub similar to the matte clay. Label design is similar to the other Lockhart's products. It's got a black label and silver foil text and it looks really great. Once again on the side you get some stats. You also get ingredients and directions. And if you open it up, you get this pearly white pomade inside. The scent on this is exactly the same as the one on the matte clay, which is lavender, earthy moss and musk. And once again, it smells like an earthy lavender. In my review of the matte clay, I did mention that I don't really fancy the scent that much, but it's a lot more subtle on this one, so it doesn't really bother me that much. Now scooping it out, pretty much feels like you're scooping out a half melted gel pomade. It's really easy to scoop out. Feels kind of goopy. Breaking it down, really easy. Starts to feel a little bit more stickier and slick. It doesn't feel as tacky unlike most gel pomades. Just feels really smooth and slick and slightly sticky. Going into your hair, really easy. Very little tugging and pulling. Usually with gel type pomades I apply into damp hair, but because this one is much smoother, I can apply into dry hair and still not feel that much tugging or pulling. And as you're applying into your hair, you can definitely smell the product. But like I mentioned before, it's a lot more subtle on this one. Especially after a few hours, it pretty much goes away. And as for the shine, it looks like a medium to high shine right now, but I find that it dulls down to at least a low shine throughout the day, which is still more shine than what most gel pomades retain, so I really like that about it. Slicking it back, goes through like nothing. You hardly feel any resistance. Just goes through really smoothly. And because this stuff has a good amount of slickness and stickiness, it really helps to keep everything nice and tight. I'm gonna style my hair now. Talk to you again in a bit. And I'm just gonna call that done. So as you can tell, I'm getting about a low to medium height. My sides aren't held down super tight, but they are kept well in place. Getting a good amount of slickness and stickiness, so there's not really any strays. Still getting about a medium shine, but it will dull down to a low shine. And the scent's hardly noticeable. So let's talk more about Lockhart's water-based hair pomade. Seeing how this was a lab-cooked water-based pomade, I wasn't really expecting much from it, to be honest. But I have to say, I'm actually quite surprised by it. For one thing, I really like the application process. It has a better consistency, it breaks down really easily, and it doesn't tug and pull when you're applying it to your hair. It's also not as tacky as most gel pomades, and it's got a good amount of slickness to keep everything together. And I think my most favorite part about this pomade is the fact that it doesn't harden up. I do find that it firms up ever so slightly, but it's still highly restylable. You don't even need to wet comb, you can easily just recomb it. Of course, I do have some issues with this pomade, the most obvious one being that it doesn't give that much hold. It feels more like a light medium to me, and I usually get a hairstyle that's more modest than usual. My other issue with it would be about the endurance. I do find myself having to restyle every now and then, especially if I'm walking all over the place. But to be honest, it's not really a big issue because this stuff doesn't harden up and restyling is really easy. I also find that it styles much more better once the product sets in your hair. Especially if you're in a cooler environment, I find that you can get away with a little bit more height and volume. Overall, I think that Lockhart's water base is a great one. Now washing it out is still pretty similar to washing out a gel pomade. All you need to do is rinse and all of it comes out. This stuff also has cucumber extract, which is supposed to nourish your hair. But to be honest, when I wash it out, my hair doesn't feel like it's been blatantly conditioned. It feels nice and clean and it doesn't feel lifeless, which is really good. So anyways, final verdict on Lockhart's water-based hair pomade. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think that this is a gel pomade done right. I love how it applies, I love how it doesn't harden up, and even though it doesn't have the best hold, I'm still able to style something pretty decent. It's not the best product for a tall hairstyle with a lot of volume, but for simple grooming, it's gonna do a pretty good job. Also, if you like to use gel pomades to degrease, this is a pretty good option as well. And as per usual, more details on the blog, link down below. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the review. Do leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel right here, or you can check out my last video right here. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.